Hello, everyone. It's Aliyah Orozco, and welcome back to the channel. I am super excited for today's episode because it is the start of my new series, UFC Pre-Fight Show with Aliyah Orozco. So I'm excited to announce my first guest, the one and only Tuco Tokkos. Did I say
Thank
your
you.
name
You
correct?
did. You said it good. That's the best I've ever heard.
Hey, that makes me happy. Yeah, I was watching some interviews of you, and I heard someone say this, your last name as Tacos.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
say to them?
I know. I'm like, oh my God. But it's usual. If people don't have good pronunciation, or it's usually people that don't speak a second language, they can't pronounce
Yeah.
my name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
And
having me.
of course. So I know your last fight, it was kind of on short notice, but that was with
Yeah.
the UFC. But this is
Yeah.
like your first official debut with
Yeah.
the UFC. So let's just start there. How does that feel to even be saying that?
Yeah. I mean, this is like my real coming out party. My debut was like everything happened so fast. I didn't really get time to like digest and take it all in. It was just like get on the flight, make the weight, get to the fight, and it just all happened so quickly. But the build up for this has definitely been realer, and it's like the real experience, the full experience.
Did you ever see this for your life? I know you said, I watched some interviews, you said you weren't one of those people that like grew up wanting to be a
Mm.
UFC fighter, but I guess at what moment in your career did you really start to see, I guess, the UFC stage and see that you
Um,
could on it?
I guess just when I kept winning fights, when I won a bunch of fights, I was like, oh, it is a possibility. It's enough. I can't say it was like my goal, like a lot it is for a lot of guys, but yeah, like once it was like in reach, then maybe I took it more seriously and I was like, oh, this is something I can actually achieve. I should push for it. And then I started to do that.
And now you're here. You are
Yeah.
about to fight on December 14th,
Yeah.
Covington versus Buckley, UFC Fight Night, and your opponent is Navajo Stirling. I know
Yeah.
he just came off the contenders. So, yeah, just tell me what you think about him as an opponent and his skill set.
I actually met him in a hotel yesterday. The kid's enormous. He's like huge. When I saw him, I
Really?
was like, Jesus. I was like, you're big as hell, yeah. And I like touched his arms and he was a bit shy. I know he's a bit younger and it's like he hasn't really been around these kind of shows. So I don't know if he was a bit flustered because I was just friendly. I walked up to him, shook his hand, was touching him and talking to his team and stuff. Um, I know the kid's really good. He's big and strong and powerful. He's got a bunch of knockouts. But one thing I have is more experience than him. So yeah, I need to capitalize on that and try and exploit that. But the kid's very well trained from a great gym, great striker. I'm just gonna have to get in his face and try and push the fight and make him uncomfortable.
Most definitely. And have you been working on anything specific in training camp with this opponent in mind?
Just everything, working on my cardio, working on everything, just like always, trying not to neglect anywhere, just covering all my bases, not missing any practices and not miss eating any bad food and just trying to stay disciplined across the board.
Yeah, what's the hardest part of that for you? Like the discipline? Is it like the food, having to
Probably
keep
the
the weight
food.
off?
Most probably the food, because I love my food, man. So it's hard. It's hard. And when you are on that calorie deficit, it's like
Mm,
even though you're eating a lot of meals, the meal frequency is high, but it's like at the end of the day, you're still hungry because your body's hungry, and you're
yeah,
like, damn it,
exactly.
yeah, I
Well,
love
on
my
that
food.
note, yeah, me too, me too. Do you ever see yourself going up in weight then? So maybe you don't
No,
have more?
I already went up in weight. I was a middleweight prior, and then I went up to like heavyweight. So I can't. I mean, I already feel small for this weight class, so I definitely can't go up any further.
No, so you want to stay where you're at right now. You feel
Yeah,
comfortable at this
yeah,
weight.
yeah.
You're like, I've already experienced those
I
other
know.
ones.
I know.
Well, do you ever visualize the fight in your head? And if you do, like,
Mm.
how do you kind of see this one going?
I try not to like force the visualization. I know some guys they like to do that as an exercise. I kind of
Mhm.
just wait and see if anything comes to me and if I see anything coming to me. And in practice, I definitely have been like, oh, I feel like I can get to this position. I feel like I can get to this position. But I can't reveal that on this interview, Aliyah, because then then they might know and look out for that. But yeah, sometimes, but I like to just let it happen naturally. If I'm in practice and I keep going to a position and then maybe I'm like, maybe this is meant to be and I'll start to see it in the fight. But it could all be heebie-jeebie. Who knows?
And for you, was that first time like you went on the big stage? Did you have those nerves and that kind of took some time to get used to? Or like you were kind of saying that might be an experience for him because that's a part
Yeah,
of all of it. Did you ever
sadly,
deal with it? No.
sadly, I'm not really a nervous person. I wish I was, because then I'd have a little more urgency. But I'm really relaxed, and like normally my corner's like, "Hey, wake up," because I'm just chill. But I wish I did have more urgency. Maybe I'd be a little more like, I'd be a bit more switched on. But I'm a chill guy.
But what do you think sets you apart from other fighters then?
I think exactly that though. Like I don't take myself too seriously. I'm not really attached to outcome. I know they say that's bad because you should go into every fight to win. Of course I want to win. But yeah, I'm just relaxed. I'm not really phased by any of this, you know. It's like it's just a fight. There's a referee and there's an ambulance and a doctor and a million people watching. It's like it's not life or death for me, you know. I've been in some other situations in my life that require more urgency than an MMA fight. But
Yeah.
yeah, probably that, you know. My life experience has led me to be quite relaxed.
No, I think that's really good though, because it is kind of like, yeah, like the law of detachment of like if you're not
Mhm.
so attached to like how these other people are of like that goal and being like this huge world renowned fighter, then it probably is way
Yeah,
less pressure going into everything because you're just like, I'm here for this fight.
yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. So what would you say then are your short-term and long-term goals in the sport?
Um, I'm not one of these guys that like I don't really have aspirations to be a champion. I don't really care for that. I just want to put on great fights, make some money, have fun, enjoy the journey. Yeah, I'm just taking every day as it comes, you know. Short-term goals is definitely to win this Saturday. Firstly, to make weight on Friday, eat some good food, wake up Saturday, go and throw some hands for the fans, win, get a bonus. You know what I mean? Enjoy the holidays with my family.
No, most definitely. I love to hear that. What is once you finish the weigh-in and all that, what is like your favorite post
Well,
weigh-in meal?
I really want to pig out, but my nutritionist is here and he'll try and hold me back. He'll pull back on the reins, like no, no, no. But yeah, it's like simple carbs and proteins, and the first protocol is like replenishing the fluids that you've sweated out in the process of making weight. Then after you've put all that back and the micronutrients, then you can go to food. But it'll be simple carbs and just restoring the glycogen stores in your muscles and stuff like that, and trying to gain weight and stretch your stomach out. But that evening, I definitely will. I'll look for something to eat around here in Tampa. Italian's always a good shout, but I'm a
Mm-hmm.
foodie. It has to be good. Maybe there's like some Mediterranean type spots
Ooh, I
or
love
what. What's
Mediterranean.
your heritage?
I'm Mexican American. My dad's Mexican, and my mom's side, my grandpa's German. So I'm
No
kind of
way. I have a little German in me.
hey, look at
Yeah, I was
us.
just talking about that today. My dad's Greek, my mom's Brazilian, but in the Brazilian, like I have a great grandparent who's German.
And what are you?
Pardon?
What's your background?
I'm born and bred in London, England. But yeah, Greek dad, Brazilian mom.
Oh
It's,
wow. Hey, that is
yeah,
good genes right there.
yeah, thanks.
Oh, I love that. How does your family feel about all this, especially since you didn't see this as like a little boy for your life?
I don't know. I don't really talk about it. My dad kind of like watches me fight, and my brother. I think my brother's gonna fly out from London to the fight.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're not really. None of them do martial arts. They're not really. We're not really like that kind of family. So yeah, I mean, I already live in America, far away from them. They all live in Europe, and so yeah, I mean, they support me, but it's not like they're not like my biggest fans or anything. It's not
Yeah.
like my dad was taking me to wrestling practice and all this kind of shit.
I know
Yeah,
there's
just
a lot of stories like that in the sport. So
yeah.
I
I
know
wish
it's
I had that. I'd be a better wrestler.
no, but I feel like it's cool. I feel like other people are gonna see your journey and be like, hey, I could also start like later in the game. I don't have to
Yeah,
have this whole
yeah, for
upbringing.
sure. I never planned this. You know, I kind of fell into the sport young. I had my first pro fight at like later on in my 20s. So it's like there's yeah, anyone could start. These guys are having pro fights at 18 now, which is crazy. So yeah, the
What
sport's
would
growing a lot.
what would you say has been the most pivotal moment in your career for you?
Uh, if we're talking achievement wise, it would be getting to the UFC for sure. But pivotal in terms of like having an impact on my career was moving to the States for sure. When I moved to the States and joined the gym I'm at now, it's like a super gym. The facilities, the coaching, the fighters that I train with is just like different level. That definitely changed me and made me look at the sport differently and take it more seriously. Because before that, I was in London and it was like definitely more of a hobby. But now it's like
Mm.
I'm a professional athlete. I'm a professional athlete, telling myself that, you know.
Yeah. And how do you like living in America? Do you see yourself like staying here long term?
I love it, and then I also hate it. Like I love it because it's so free, and it's like it is the land of opportunity. There's so much space, and you can travel around freely, and it's great, you know. And when the economy is good, there's just so much you can do. But I do definitely miss like the cultural kind of origin of Europe and European culture and manners and food quality and food and stuff like that. I do miss that, like the way of life over there. But both have their pros and cons, you know. I visit enough that I get my fix.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, that's great to hear. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me more about your fight. And is there anything that the fans can really expect to see from you come December 14th?
I just come out swinging, you know. That's my style. I'm a brawler, and I just want to put on for the fans. And then now I'm gonna try and hit this guy.
And is there anywhere, like location wise, you really hope to fight one day?
In London, London's doing a card March 22nd. I need to be on that, man. That's my hometown. I'm the only real Londoner in the UFC. They need to put me on there, man. I'll bring the hooligans out for real.
He's bringing the hooligans out, you guys, and
Yeah.
we all got to be out there for that one, manifesting that. That's got to
Yes.
happen. Well, thank you
Yes.
so much. And also, what are your thoughts on the main card? I have to get your take. Covington versus Buckley, if I'm pronouncing their names right.
In the main event, I don't know. Colby hasn't looked good for years and years and years. I don't think he has a win over anyone who's even still in the promotion. Um, and Buckley, I seen him today. He's like full of energy. He's been very sharp. I think if he doesn't stop the wrestling immediately, he will stop it at some point. I'm going to take Buckley, and I think Buckley gets it done.
For sure. And actually, one more question to end here, fun one. If you could
Sure.
fight any legendary UFC fighter, past or present, who would that be?
Damn, probably Chuck Liddell, because when you look back on those fights,
Ooh,
they were awful, man. They were so bad. Yeah, probably Chuck Liddell with his hands down, like walking forward like an old man.
and what about now? Is there anyone you hope to get in the ring with now that you
Anyone, man, anyone, whoever they say, I don't mind. Anyone can fight me.
you're just ready? Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time. I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
And we are
Thank
wishing
you.
you the best of luck this
Thank
weekend.
you. Thank
Official
you. God bless you.
relocation. God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
Amir. Take care.
You
Bye
as
bye.
well. Bye.